Okay, let us start now. So today's topic will be managing the PCB layer stack-up. Okay, in this webinar, we will be seeing about advanced layer stack management and what are the features inside the advanced layer stack management interface. Okay, so I'm Rajeshwari from PCB Graph Tech representing the ACAD solutions. Okay, so let us see the agenda today. So the first topic we'll be seeing is the layer stack up improvements. So in this we will be seeing about the user interface and what are the features which are available, and then still we have some new features in 20 like your surface roughness and like your coplanar transmission line. All these we'll be seeing in layer stack up improvements. Then second topic will be impedance profile generation. So we'll see how the impedance solver help us to create the trace width for routing purposes in your high speed design. So we'll see about it in detail later. Then the third topic will be microvia support. So this is mainly for your HDI stack up. Okay, so when you use HDI stack up, we need the microvia support, and we will be seeing how it is cycling through various types of vias inside your routing. Okay, so then we'll see about the next topic is back drilling. So back drilling, its main purpose is to remove the excess copper in either a through hole pad or it is in the vias. This is also for high speed design. Okay, we will see it in detail. So next there will be a demo. So if you have any questions, then you can post your questions in the chat panel. So at the end of the session, I'll be answering your questions. Okay, so now let us go for the first topic, which is your layer stack up improvements. Okay, so now the first improvement in the layer stack up is now we can split the layer stack up in user interface, meaning that if I have two PCBs and I want to compare the layer stack up, okay, so you can just compare it. You can see it here, the layer stack up of one PCB, then we're comparing with the other. Okay, so you can just compare them either with the materials or with the layers, and then you can also edit the layer stack up from the properties panel. Okay, suppose for example, I want to follow the PC4 layer stackup for my SL1, then I can just edit it by going to the layer stackup, and then I can change the material or adding the layers. All I can do it inside this vertical split panel. Okay, so I'm just doing it vertical, split it here, and then I can compare it, change whatever I need. As well as you can see in your project panel, there you also now the layer stackup is available under each project. This was not available in the earlier versions, but now you can see them in the project panel. So you can have your own layer stackup in their projects. So you can see it here. Okay, so then next we are going to see about the properties panel for the layer stackup, then the vias and the impedance profile. All these properties panel we are going to see in the inside the layer stack manager itself. Okay, so now let us see so how the layer stackup looks like. So when I open one layer stackup, you will see below at the bottom left corner there is a tab containing the layer stackup, impedance and the via types. Okay, so when you go to the layer stackup, you can create your own stackup regions. Okay, if you take example rigid flex region. Okay, so rigid flex board, so you have a rigid region, you will have a flex region. Okay, so you can just create the new layer stack region for flex, and then you can remove some of the layers and you can have certain layers and you can just name it as a flex. All this you can do it under the stack up layer creation. Then coming to the next tab is the impedance. So in the impedance tab, when you want to create the impedance profile, so you can just activate that tab and then you will see the impedance profile here. So this impedance profile, automatically it will generate for 50 ohms. Okay, then if you want to change the impedance profile to get the width of the trace, you can just create your own impedance profile. By giving the impedance value, automatically it will calculate the trace width for that layer. Okay, so you can do this inside your impedance profile. Then the third tab is about your wire types. So the wire type, you can create any wire types like your blind wires, through hole wires. Then you can also create your micro wires, skip wires, buried wires. So all these you can create it inside your layer stackup. This we will see in detail when we are going in the demo. I will show for you. Okay. Then here I'm using the layer stackup is a symmetrical layer stack. Okay. Since I'm using symmetrical layer stack, I can also mirror my micro wires. You can see in the properties panel, I have a stack symmetry checkbox, meaning that I have the below layers are symmetric to the top of the top layers. So when I mirror it, I can get the micro wire both at the top as well as at the bottom. Okay, this is possible only when you are using the stack symmetry. Okay. Then next, when you're coming for predefined material library. Okay, so this is about library compliance. You can see in this panel, the properties panel, below the stack symmetry, there is a library compliance. So this library compliance is mainly for when you're selecting the material for any layers, it will just check whether the library is from your own library inside the software. If it is not matching, it will show the error. Okay, so if you want to check that, you can make it checkbox in your library compliance. Then what is the main purpose of this material library is you will have a wide selection of materials and they're all user defined materials. Okay, so then if you want to have a new material, so what you can do is you can also select it by going to tools material library. You will be able to see the different materials what you're using inside here. Okay, so based on the materials, if you want to create a new material, either for your core or prepeg, all this, if you click that, you will be able to give the details of the manufacturer, then the construction, then the permittivity, then the dissipation factor, all this information you need to give in here. So when you give and update it, the new material will be created inside your material library. So this is how you can also create it. Okay, so next, when you're going for layer stack properties panel, report or warning. Okay, this is mainly to, now this is a new feature which helps you to find out in your layer stack if there is any error. Okay, so for example, I'm doing the back drilling. So when I do back drilling, I just go from 5th layer to 8th layer back drilling here. So what happens when it comes outside the bottom layer, because I'm doing from 5th to 8th layer, so it comes outside here, automatically it will show the exclamation mark and give you information. See that stop layer cannot be outer layer. So like this, it's not only for the back drill, it is also will show for impedance profile, the wire types. If there is any error, it will automatically show you the exclamation mark and the error message. Okay, so seeing the error message, it helps us to immediately solve the issue. Okay, this very good feature we have in layer stack management now. Okay, then we can also see the 2D, 3D layer stack up visualizer. So using this visualizer, we can see the orthographic the camera view, then the full stack up of this board. Then you can also see the real layers height, then the show the layer names, space between the layers, simple conductors, all these informations you can just see it by using the layer stack visualizer. These I will show it in the demo later. Okay, so next is the impedance profile generation. So we have seen something about the advanced layer stack improvements. So now we are going for the impedance profile generation. So in this impedance profile generation, you can see the properties panel here for impedance profile, and then it is helping you to create the impedance profile for single differential layers, as well as now the new feature introduced is coplanar transmission line. Okay, for this purpose also it is used now, and it is a new feature. Along with that, you have the surface roughness in your impedance profile. Okay, this is also a new feature introduced in 20. So when I do demo, I will explain you in detail about it. Then coming to the next, it will automatically create your impedance calculation for your layers, each layers, then this impedance profile is need to be applied in your design rules. Okay, so once you generate impedance profile, it doesn't mean it is finished. You have to apply it in your design rules to follow up in your design. Okay, so I will show you in the demo how it works. Then we'll go for the layer stack impedance profile management. Okay, in this impedance profile management, you will be able to see when I just click on impedance, automatically you will have the basic impedance profile of 50 ohms. Okay, so in this impedance profile, you will be able to see there are top layer and followed by the bottom reference. Okay, so this bottom reference tells you that the impedance profile will start from the layer 2 to this bottom reference of 4th layer. So when you select this layer, in the left hand side, you can see all the corresponding selected layers with respect to the bottom reference. Okay, so you can choose which bottom reference layer you prefer. So until that, it will do the impedance profile with respect to that value. Okay, so now you can see here we have selected this layer 2. Automatically in the impedance profile, you will see the description of the name, then the target impedance. You can set it here, whatever the impedance you prefer. And based on that, you will see below the width can be calculated. Okay, so the width is calculated based on your target impedance. Then you can see that there is an H factor. This H factor is usually given by the manufacturer. Okay, if you want to calculate the width, the impedance based on the H value, so the manufacturer will give you that H value. So based on that, it will automatically calculate. Okay, then you can also see sometimes the designers will have a specification for high speed design. They want the certain width to do the routing. So they will prefer the width first. They don't give the preference for impedance. They want the certain width. So when they type the width, automatically it will calculate the impedance value here. Okay, so when the impedance is not under the tolerance, it will automatically show the error or warning message. Okay, so what you need to do is, once it says it is not the targeted impedance within the limit, then you have to click on this FX. This FX is to calculate the impedance correspondingly. Okay, when you click FX, it will calculate the width for the corresponding impedance. So either way, so when you see error, to get it back your normal value, you can just click on this FX to get your normal width according to the impedance. Okay, then we'll go for the next one is about your micro-via support. So in this micro-via support, we are going to see about how the HDI supports in your micro-via. So normally if you see in the layer stack manager, you'll be using micro-via, buried vias, blind vias, and the skip vias are supported. Then when you create these vias, later we have to set it in your design rules. Okay, we have to set the micro via in the design rule for routing via style, set for micro via, skip via, buried via. So what is the difference between micro via and the skip via? If you see here, the micro via between the immediate 2 layers, 1 and 2. But when you go to the skip layer, is also similar like micro via, but it skips 1 layer. Okay, from 1 to 3. So that is the difference between the micro via and the skip via. And then you can also have the buried vias here. Also, you can have the blind vias. So blind vias will be normally from the top to any layer or bottom to any of the above layers. Okay, so we are going to see then we are going to see how this micro via helps in routing during the cycling of routing layers. When you do the routing, you need to cycle through layers. We are going to see how it is shifting from one layer to the other layer. So I will show it in the demo, and this shifting can be done by using the number keywords in your keyboard. Okay, so we'll see it in detail later. Then the last topic will be your back drilling. So in this back drilling, we will be seeing about how to create the back drill in your layer stack manager. So this back drilling is normally used to create either from the top layer to any of the layer, or from the bottom layer to above any of the layer. Okay, so normally it can be either from top or bottom. So which is top side, we can call it as back drill top or back drill bottom. So what is the purpose of this back drill? is mainly for reducing or removing the excess copper in your through hole pad or the vias. So normally backdrill is used in high speed design. So in high speed design, if you are taking example, I am using a through hole pad of for 10 layer board. Okay, but my signal only passes through from first layer to fourth layer. Okay, so the remaining through hole pad, which is from fifth layer to 10th layer, is excess of the copper barrel. So what happens in this, when the signal passes after fourth layer will be due to reflections. So all due to reflections, all these cases. So what happened, there will be loss of signal when it is going through the fourth layer. So I want to avoid it. So you can do the back drilling to remove the portion from fifth layer to 10th layer. Okay, so this is can be done by back drilling, and then you need to set it in your design rules. So this again you have to set it under high speed design back drilling. So this can be set either by custom query or normal. So where you can also set it for innet class and ISVIA, meaning that I'm saying that I have to apply it for combining the net class with the vias in it, meaning it will not include any through hole pad. Okay, so it's like that. Then next we'll go for the demo. I will show you how it all works here. Okay, so now first step I'm going to show you. I have opened a PCB board. I will just click on D, then D is for design. You can go for layer stack manager. Okay, so click to open the layer stack manager. Okay, now you will see there is a separate tab here, and this separate tab is also a shows the user interface for this here. Okay, so now I'm going to compare this layer stack with the mini PC layer stack. So to compare it, let me go for right click and I want to split it vertically. Okay, so I just split vertical here and then open my layer stack up of mini PC. So now you can see that you can compare two layer stack manager simultaneously by using vertical tile. Okay, so now if you see here, I have some 16 layer board for mini PC, whereas come to PC4, you have 8 layer. So now my mini PC is the active stack up. Then you will see the properties of the layer stack up manager showing that which layer is the active layer here, you can see, and then is it layer symmetry, layer stack symmetry, then the total layers and the roughness here. Okay, when you are selecting one of the layer, you will see the properties of that layer. So I just click on top layer, you will see properties. Okay, so now if I want to edit, you can see the properties of this layer stack is like a TU883, but when I'm coming to the another board, you will see the materials are different. So you can compare them and you can immediately, if you want to change, you can just click on this and then you can change the material. Okay, so if you want to add the layer, you can add the layer, or if you want to edit the materials, you can edit the materials. So all you can see it. Then further coming down, you can also see what is the total thickness of your board. Okay, so for my mini PC stack up, the total thickness, you can see it here. Okay, so this is how we can see all. Now I want to open individual layer stack up and show it. So let me right click on this and then merge all. Okay, I will merge all. Now I want to see only for this PC4. Okay, so this PC4, I open it, I can see the layer. This is again stack symmetry, the total number of layers, all this information. So the first step, if you see below, this stack up is on. I want to see the properties. I will go for the tools here, and then the first feature what I'm going to show is rigid flex. So rigid flex is normally if I want to create the stack region, like your rigid region, flex region, if you want to create it, you can add in the stack region. So let me click on the rigid flex. Automatically, it will allow me to create the layer stack. Okay, so first I have the rigid region here. If I want to create any flex, let me go for add button. So when I click add, so automatically you will see this is stack 1. So in this stack 1, I changed this name to be flex. So I'm creating the flex region and then it is flex. So I need to mention it. It is a flex. Then I need to select the layers which I want to for this flex region. So I can just remove some of the layers. Since it is symmetry, automatically it removes the below layers. Okay, so I just remove certain layers here. Okay, so I want only the 4 and 5 layer here. Okay, let me click on this layer, right click, and I want to insert the layer below or above. You will see there is a bikini cover lay. Okay, you can include this bikini cover lay for this flex region. Actually, this is to connect your flex to the rigid. Okay, so you can add in this. You will be able to see this flex top cover lay, bikini cover lay in this flex region. So you can also add this in your flex region. Okay, so let me close this. I'm not going to use now. Okay, then the next feature, if you see, go to the feature, you will be able to see there is a back drill. We are going to explain in detail later. So let me go for the preset. So when I click preset, you will see 2 layer, 4 layer, 6 layer, 8 layer board. So when I just click any one of this, it will automatically generate that layers of layer stack manager. Either it is a 10 layer or 12 layer, it will generate automatically for us. Okay, so containing 6 signal layers and 4 plane layers. If I go for 12 layers, 6 signal layers and 6 plane layers, so it will be automatically generate for me. Then if I go to this material library where you can see the predefined material library, either I can just click on this, it will automatically open the material library, and then you will see some of the columns here. Okay, if you want to add in the columns or remove the columns, you can just go for settings. So settings will allow you to add in the columns here for the material library. And then if you see in the left hand side, these are the materials which have their own library material. For example, if I go for the core material, you will see the manufacturer, the name, thickness. So there are different materials I have for this core itself. I can use different materials. So if suppose I want to add in new material for my library, what you can do is you can just click on this add button. Okay, so you can add in the new material what you want under this core. So manufacturer, then your permittivity, then your dissipation factor, the name, thickness, all these informations you need to give. So once you give and then update it, it will be updated in your library. Okay, I'm not going to do that. Okay, let me close it. So you can do that. Then coming to the next, you can also add material library there, or unfortunately if you are doing here, for example, I just click here, want to add material library. You can go for material library, clicking on the dot. You will see what are the available materials for that particular layer. Okay, you can choose from here which material you want to place it. You can just place it there. Okay, now I'm just going with the default, or you can also type in the layer stack. So when you type in, it will automatically check for the library compliance. So when it checks for library compliance, it will see whether this is the material available inside your material library or not. If it is not available, it will show you the warning message. Okay, so this is how it works. Then let me go for the layer stack visualizer. So if you click layer stack visualizer, you will be able to see like this. Okay, so here this is the 2D view of your layer stack. Then if I want to see the 3D view, you can just click 3D view, and then I want it for orthographic camera, you can just on here. Okay, so then I just remove it and then I go for full stack up. So when I go for full stack up, right click and rotate, you will see the full stack up here. Then if I just remove and go for real layers height, so you will see the real layer height, and then you can see the dielectric layers information with the thickness. Then the right hand side, you will see the signal layers information with the thickness. Then you can also see the space between the layers, and then you can just rotate to see. Also you can see the simple conductors. So all this you can see it in your layer stack visualizer. Okay, so this is about your layer stack visualizer. Okay, so next going to your impedance profile. Okay, we have seen something about your layer stack. We are going to go for impedance profile properties. So I just open my impedance profile. So once I click impedance profile, you will see add impedance profile. So the impedance profile is mainly for high speed design. when you're using high speed design and you want to use this routing width based on the impedance profile, you can add your impedance profile. Okay, so let me add my impedance profile. So you will see for all the layers, the impedance profile has been set default as 49.99, which is approximately 50 ohms. Okay, so now when you see one of the top layer here, so in this layer, the bottom reference is layer 3. So when I click here, automatically you will see the highlighted layer is 1, 2, 3. So with respect to bottom reference, it will highlight. Now for my case, I want to change this to layer 4. Okay, so I just click on layer 4. Then you will see here automatically up to layer 4 will be selected. Okay, so now we'll go for the impedance profile. So let me change my impedance profile here from 50 to 60. Okay, or when I press enter, you will see the width will be automatically changed. Okay, for my impedance profile, the width will be automatically changed. And then if I want to give based on my width, I want to calculate. Let me give my width to be 0.01. Okay, so you can see when I set my width is 0.01, automatically you see your impedance calculated as 90.49. It is too high, which is not within 10% of tolerance. Okay, so if I go to this exclamation mark, it says the trace impedance exceeds the specified tolerance. So I need to calculate the width based on my target impedance. So I just click on FX. Automatically, it will calculate the width for my impedance value. Okay, so this is how you can calculate. So if I want to add one more impedance profile, so I will just click one more, and then you can create the impedance profile only for certain layers. So for example, I just want impedance profile only between layers 3 and 4. Okay, I just want to create here, and then I just click on this impedance profile. I want to change it to be 90 ohms. Okay, I said target impedance is 90 ohms, and then I can also choose here what type of profile I want to use, whether it's a single or differential, is for differential pair, or it is a coplanar. This coplanar is a new feature which was introduced in Altium Designer 20. Okay, actually what is coplanar transmission line is, if you want your transmission of your signal to be smooth, okay, in your network, so the network impedance should match with the source and the load impedance. Okay, if they match, then it will achieve the coplanar transmission line. Okay, you can use that, but now for my case, I just use this 15 ohm, and then I try with the target impedance of 90 ohms. So when I set it here, automatically you see the width has been changed. So if I want to use the edge factor, so the edge factor is given by my manufacturer, for example 2. I press enter, you will see the differences here. Okay, it is showing some differences, it doesn't match. So I change to 1, enter. Okay, still it doesn't matches. So I need to calculate here. Just I click on FX to calculate. So based on this edge factor also, the impedance calculation is done automatically within the software. So now my 88.67 impedance is within 10% tolerance. Okay, so coming down, you will be able to see there is a roughness. This is what I was mentioning, which is a new feature introduced in 20. Okay, so this roughness is mainly for, again, high speed design impedance calculation. So if you go for high speed design, there will be high switching frequency, okay, which causes the greater skin effect. Okay, so to reduce the conductive losses in the copper, we need to select the roughness of your material. Okay, so that one you can choose it under this. So when you're choosing the model type, it will automatically calculate it in your impedance calculation. So this is a new feature introduced here. So now I have created 2 impedance. Let me save this, and then I want to apply it in my PCB. Okay, I just go to my PCB and then go to design rules. So when I go to design rules, let me go to the width rule here, create a new width rule, right click, new rule. So in this, I'm going to use impedance profile. Okay, so I'm just creating the impedance profile rule here, and then I can use it for any net or net class. If you're choosing net class, you can choose the net class and apply it. But for my case, I just go in general, because you see this is normally for normal width. It is not for impedance profile. I'm going to select the properties of impedance profile here. Okay, when I check box here, you will be able to see the impedance profile which we have generated in your layer stack. So please remember, when you are generating the impedance profile in layer stack, you need to save it off. If you don't save, it will not show in your design rules. Okay, so I just click down, you will see the two impedance profile generated. So let me click on 90 ohms. So you will see the 90 ohm is available only for these two layers. It's not available for other layers. So you can able to set this impedance profile from which layer to which layer you want it. Okay, so this is how you can set it your impedance profile. So next one, we are going to see about microvia support. So to see about the microvia support, again I go to the layer stack manager. In this, let me select the vias. Okay, I go to the vias type. Now I'm going to generate some of the vias. Okay, so to initially you will have the through hole via here. So let me add some via, and then I add first is my micro via. Okay, so first layer to second layer, I just select micro via. Since it is my board is a stack symmetry, I want to do the mirror. Okay, when I just choose mirror, you will see it is going from 1 to 2 as well as 8 to 7. Okay, so this is called stack symmetry, so I can mirror the micro via. Then I want to add one more micro via between the second layer to third layer. So I select it here. Automatically, you can also mirror it between the other two layers. You will see the micro via goes from 2 to 3 to, 2 to 3, and then here 7 to 6. Okay, so next I'm going to generate one buried vias. So buried vias normally will be within the layers, not in the top layer or bottom layer. So let me select here third layer to sixth layer. So you will see the buried layer, buried via. Here we can generate it. Then I want to generate one skip via. So to skip via, I just choose the top layer to, then third layer, and then it is a micro via. Okay, so since it is similar to micro via, but I just skip only one layer here, so it is called skip via. So if you want to mirror it, you can just mirror. So now you can generate the vias like this, and you can use it in your routing. But before using it, you have to set the rules in your design rule for your routing vias, which can be used in the routing. Okay, so let me save this. Okay, I will go for this example. Here I open this my mini PC, go to design rules. Here I'm going to go for the routing vias here. So let me create the routing vias here, new rule. I'm just going to create rules here, micro vias. Then I can apply it for based on again net or net class. So you can choose the net class here for which you want to apply the micro via. So for my case, I'm just going to do for custom query, and then I'm going to use only is micro via. Okay, you can select it from your custom query here, and then you can set your preferred diameter and the hole size for the micro via, what you want it for routing. So let me choose my diameter to be some fixed values, 0.2. Then my hole size, I'm setting it here. Okay, so now I just apply it for micro via. So then I want to create one rule for my buried vias. So let me generate one buried vias rule. Then again, I just go for the custom query. I need to select is buried via. Okay, so select is buried via, and then need to choose the diameter. So let me choose the diameter for buried via to be 0.4. So 0.4. Then the hole size 0.2. Okay, so I just apply the buried bias rule. Then I'm going to create one more rule here. So this is for the skip bias. Okay, so again I just use the custom query to do for skip bias. So you can see when I'm selecting here, automatically it will show you all the rules. You can just select it which parameter you're looking for. So you can select the parameter from the custom query very easily. Okay, then I can set the diameter 0.3 for this, and then the hole size to be 0.15. Okay, you can choose it here. Okay, so once I apply all this, if I want to give the priority for my rules, I can just go to the priority. I can set the priority for it. For example, I want the micro bias to be the increased priority. So I just apply it first. Then have the skip bias, then the buried bias. So I just give the priority, close here. Now I applied the rule. I want to use it in my routing here. Okay, let me show you how it works. So I go for route. Okay, when I start my routing, you will see it is starting with the initial layer, and then I just want to change the layer. Let me press Control L. Control L is to skip to the layer, and I want to use the bottom layer. Okay, so I just click on bottom layer. You will see the via comes out here. Okay, I will show it in the properties panel for the via properties. So now let me show here. So when I just get this via, and then I need to pin it here. Okay, so now you will see here in the properties panel, you have your buried bias, your skip bias, you have your micro bias all. Okay, so if I want to change the stack up by using cycling method, I just press the shortcut is 6 in your keyboard. When you press 6, the routing it will change. You see, it will change to only the HDA stack up of micro bias, then it comes to the buried bias, then it comes to below the again the micro bias. So it will change. So what order you want, you can just select it off. So let me go with this order. I want the micro bias first, and then I go to the buried bias. So I just left click, come out of it. You will see that it comes with the blue color, that is the bottom layer. And then I want to add one more via. So when I add it, I want to again cycle the routing. Let me press 6 again. So you see the skip via first comes. So followed by the skip via, you have the buried via, sorry, skip via, you have the micro bias, then buried bias. So automatically the cycle continues to change. So I just click here, then I come out here, and then I want to place one more via. Then I just press for one more via, then automatically you can press 6 and see here what via you prefer. I want the through hole via. So let me click for through hole via and then just go up. Okay, for example, I'm doing this. So right click, come out of it. So now you can see I have placed the vias here, and then you can see how they are placed. So if I want to see this stack up in my 3D view, so just press the 3D view and then I can show you how they are placed. You can see your stack up here. So first you have in my first, I have the micro bias, then I have the buried bias, then finally I have the, again I have the micro bias here. Then I just skip via first, then micro via, then buried bias. So you will see the stack up is following. This is the HDA stack up. It is automatically following the bias in your layers. Okay, so now let me go to 2 and I want to do some changes, like I want to stagger the bias. Okay, micro bias I want to stagger and show you. So what you can do, you can press the control key and then you can just move one of the bias here. Okay, so if you see, zoom in and see, you see it is from 2 to 3, is from second layer to third layer. Then you try to move one of them, you see it is 1 to 2. So you can try to move, stagger any of the micro bias from one and the other. Okay, so you can do this. When I stagger from one and the other, you will be able to see like this. Similar, if you want to stagger your skip via also, you can hold the control key and try to move. Okay, so you can do this here. And then if you want to see in 3D view, so I press 3D, you will see here they are staggered nicely for you. Okay, so 1 to 2, 2 to 3 are staggered away from it. So this is how you can stagger them from your HDI StackUp. Okay, so I will just go again. So we have seen about how to do your microvires, use it in your routing. And then if you want to, for example, I want to see the shortcut keys. I go to the routing, and if I want to see the shortcut keys, you can just press you should be inside the command and press your tilde button. You will see there is a tilde button in your keyboard, which is below your escape key. Press the tilde button. Automatically, you will see the shortcut keys. So the shortcut keys will help you to go for the next layer or the previous layer. It helps you to select the layer, or if you want to select the change routing transition, which I have done, you have to press shortcut is 6. You can also do that. So there are so many shortcut keys. You can follow it by pressing the tilde button. Okay, so I will just go from this. So next one, we are going to see about your back drilling. So the back drilling, so I just opened this one of the example. I'm going to apply the back drilling for this. So go to design, layer stack manager. Okay, so I have a 4-layer board. I'm going to add in back drilling. So go to the features, add back drill. So in this back drill, if I want to add the back drilling, you have to do it in your layer stack manager first. So I just add my back drill. So when you add in the back drill, it will automatically come first layer to second layer. So you can choose it from here, which layer to where you want to do back drilling. So first is I default go with 1 to 2. Second one, I want to change it from first to third layer. Okay, so I want to do from first to third layer. Then the third one I want to do from bottom layer to inner layer, mid layer 2. Okay, so I'm just selecting some of the options which I can apply. So 1 to 2, 1 to 3, and 4 to 3. As I told you before, the back drilling can be applied either from the top side or from the bottom side. If you want to create the blind wire and do it also, you can do it. Okay, you have to set it in the design rule and you can use it off. So now I have created it. Let me save this, and then I'm going to open my PCB, go for the design rules. Because the back drilling should be given in the design rules, we need to apply the rule. Okay, let me go for the design rules, and then under high speed you will see the maximum via stub length back drilling. So just right click for new rule. You will see the back drilling here. So in the back drilling, you can apply the back drilling for either net class, again your X signals or the custom query. So I just go with the custom query. I want to apply it only for is via. So I just use is via. Okay, I just use it for the via. And then now coming down, you can see the constraint. You can see the first one is the stub length is 15 mils, meaning that you should give the maximum stub length where there should be no cutoff. Okay, so that portion of the stub is for transmitting your signal, whereas the remaining portion you can remove it off. Okay, so now you can see there is the back drilling is done both from the top layer as well as from the bottom layer. So in between you have this stub length is the stub length which is not cut off. Okay, so when you do the back drilling, remember that it is calculated, the diameter of the back drilling is calculated based on the via or hole size plus 2 times the oversize. This is the oversize. Okay, so either from the left and the right you have 2. So the via or pad hole size plus 2 times the oversize. So it is the back drill diameter, as well as you can calculate the depth of the back drill. So the depth will be calculated based on the thickness of the layers from which to which you want to do back drilling. From top to which layer you want to do back drilling minus the thickness of the last layer. Okay, you're doing the back drilling. That gives you the depth of the back drilling. Okay, you can do that. So let me set my stub length to be 3. Minimum I'm setting it to 3, and then I just don't give any tolerance. I apply OK. Okay, so once I do this, now I'm going to do the routing. So I just do the routing here. So when I come for routing, I just go here, hold rotate my this, and then I want to do from first layer to third layer. So third layer is my mid 2. I press L to change the layer. Okay, I just connect it off. So right click, come out of it. Once I have done, you will see the changes here. So once I'm doing the routing between the first layer to the third layer, since I'm using the through hole via, remember that you can see the back drilling is done between the third layer to the fourth layer. Because bottom layer and the mid 2, I don't do any connection. So that layer will be back drilled. If you want to see it in the 3D view, you can just press 3, and then let me show you here. You can see the black color. Okay, this black color tells you there is a back drilling, and I can show it in the view configuration settings. Let me change here. Increase here the board thickness, and then let me show you here. Yeah, you can see the below shift S, it's more clear. You can see the back drilling here. So this is black color, shows you back drilling from your bottom to the mid 2 layer. Whereas I did the routing from first layer to the third layer. Since I'm using the through hole via, I can do the back drilling with the remaining portion of the via. So it removes from bottom to mid layer 2. Okay, so this is how you can do your back drilling. Okay, so okay, so we have seen how to create your back drilling. So with this demo is over, then let me go for the next. So we finishes. Okay, thanks for your attention. If you have any questions, you can ask me now.